All right. You expect me to make heads or tails out of what the markets are doing? Relief rally. Who the hell knows? Everybody's got a different opinion about what's going on right now. A major run up yesterday. So far today, markets on the upswing. Again, things were overdone. And we've discussed this. We explained this before. The way financial markets work today, very different than it was when I first got in this business. I told this story before. It's worthwhile to tell it again. Again, this is back in the 1990s. It had to be 97, 98. I can't remember the exact year. I was having a bunch of clients coming in. I had an office in the city at the time and was taking them on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. It's some connections there and taking them around. And then we were up, there was kind of at the New York Stock Exchange, there was also kind of like a catwalk that you could look down on what was taking place and what was transpiring and, the action at the various different places. Yeah, they still call it the New York Stock Exchange, but it's basically it's a sound stage is what it is. You think that CNBC and Kramer would be able to set up shop back in the 1990s? No room. There were specialists. There was a way things that were done. And quite frankly, I like that way. I'm being honest. I like that way a hell of a lot better than what we've done today. It made a lot of people very, very rich, what we've done today. A lot of people that are able to manipulate and act as middlemen. And we talked about shaving pennies and nickels and dimes and all that stuff. Payment for order flow. I mean, that didn't exist beforehand. We're told again and again and again, it's beneficial and it keeps costs down. Come on now. Stop. Go sell BS somewhere else. Anyway, because of all of the computerized trading, algorithmic trading, myriad of hedge funds, and a lot of leverage that has been packed into many of these things, you can get very, very violent swings. Very violent swings in the market. And it's, you get out of the way. Last Friday was an example. What did the market drop by over 200 points in less than 15 minutes? It was just, okay, we're done. We're walking away. We've got momentum going in this direction. We can push it. Now, again, it can swing back in the opposite direction as well. This is why, again and again and again, I try to explain to people, if you try to time things and you're not on the inside, you can get your head cut off. And why do you think all these Wall Street firms were just fined over $1 billion because of the WhatsApp discussions that were taking place? You don't think that they get on the phone with one another and able to figure out what's going on? It's always been the case, people. And as frustrating as it is, I don't participate in that. It's stupid to try to go there. You will lose. So don't go there. Anyway, inflation. There's a story talking about how unrelenting inflation is taking a toll, leaving more Americans living paycheck to paycheck. What is making Americans living paycheck to paycheck? Is it the cost of their television set? Is it their cell phone service? No, it's the goods that they have to use every single day. And I've made this perfectly clear. If you think the Fed is going to do anything to bring those costs down, you're crazy. I know some will say, oh, geez, well, labor costs have increased. Give me a break, okay? Grocery stores and places, we've seen them deal. They have self-checkout lines, for crying out loud. We talked yesterday about CVS, basically putting robots, utilizing robots to fill prescriptions. Come on, people. We never talk about the major disconnect that we have here in this country and how we go about delivering food. It's awful here. Oh, we tell you it's awesome, but it's not. Not to mention the fact the cost of energy. This is killing people, man. It is killing people. The amount that is getting shipped overseas, and I get it. You sign contracts, you've got to make good on these contracts. We don't have pipelines. The sheer nonsense that what they're paying in Texas and comparing to Massachusetts. But again, you take a couple steps back. People in Massachusetts continue to vote that way. Yeah, I had that. I was early morning radio show was asked about oh, it's $6 and something in Los Angeles. Okay. I don't live in Los Angeles, and to all my clients, I love you guys, but you can move. You can move. You know who runs the joint, for crying out loud. That's not going to change in the state of California. So stop bitching, okay? You voted for this crap. I mean, honestly, you're the ones that decide. Okay, Los Angeles has got a particular blend of gasoline where the refinery it comes from. The refinery it comes from is, I guess, not operating at full capacity. Now, they could get gasoline from somewhere else and bring it in and drop the cost, but no, they're not going to do that. I remember writing about this. Geez, had to be about 2004, 2005, talking about how stupid our energy policy is in this country. You got different blends here, there, and everywhere. And I even made the suggestion. I said, I don't care. Just have one type of blend. Make it the greenest of greenest blends. Doesn't matter. Just make it consistent around the United States. Imagine if each state and certain municipalities had a different wall socket plug for appliances and computers and whatnot. How much more would that add to the cost if they had to make different plugs for different areas? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Again, it's no different here on the East Coast. Gasoline in New Jersey can't be sold in New York, vice versa. I mean, it's stupid. But again, I don't know what to tell you, people. This is affecting everybody. This winter is going to be brutal. It is. It's going to be brutal. I mentioned this. I'm ordering extra wood. I am. I already told my wife. I hate wasting money. I hate waste. I hate misallocated resources. I can't stand it. And it's a waste of money when I'm seeing these energy prices going through. I say, I don't give a damn. I'll get the fireplace going all winter long. I don't care. I think it's bad here. You know what they're going to be paying over in Europe? We've talked about this here on the program. Can the Fed do anything about that? No, that's policy. That's who you're voting for, people. So if I see another left-wing lunatic, another blue-minded, can't think, in any sort of manner, we're utilizing logic and reason, Socratic method, if you would. I'm going to lose my mind. You voted for this, okay? You voted for this. They told you this was what they wanted. How many times do I have to repeat it? Okay. If you don't believe me, look it up. Stephen Chu, Obama's first energy secretary. But basically, we want our gasoline prices to be commensurate with what they are in Europe. Well, they get things done. Okay. I've mentioned this before. Okay. Republicans suck. Okay. Republicans are the New York Jets. I know Jets. I'm making fun. I go to the Jets games. I'm a Jets fan, number one Giants fan, but I'm a Jets fan too. But yeah, they lose all the time. Anyway, the United Nations calling on the Federal Reserve and other central banks to halt interest rate increases. They warn that further policy tightening risks a global economic downturn. No shit. That's obvious. I mean, okay, that's by design. United Nations. That's what they want to do. Warning comes amid growing unease about the haste with which the Fed and its counterparts are raising borrowing costs to contain surging inflation. India's central bank Friday said that the global economy was facing a third major shock after COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian invasion of Ukraine in the form of aggressive rate increases by central banks in rich countries. In its annual report on the global economic outlook, the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development said the Fed risks causing significant harm to developing countries if it persists with rapid rate rises. The agency estimated that a percentage point rise in the Fed's key interest rate lowers economic output in other rich countries by 0.5% and economic output in poorer countries by 0.8% over the next 3 years. And it would crush a lot of these poorer countries and emerging markets. Listen, they screwed up. And they continue to screw up. You sided, and I'm sorry. And again, you're not going to get any of the folks on the business networks to actually level with anybody when it comes to this. The Fed did what the Biden administration wanted. The Fed did what the Trump administration wanted. This idea that the Fed is somehow independent is patently absurd. They serve the wants and needs of the ruling class in Washington, D.C. They are the credit card. Plain and simple. They are the credit card. Do you think that we'd be $31 trillion in debt? Let's just say if interest rates floated normally. Let's say that there really wasn't any change in interest rates from the way back they were back in the 1990s, where you get a 6% on a 10-year treasury back at that point in time. And again, I've mentioned this 1,000 times here on the program. My job was a hell of a lot easier back then. Okay? Managing money was a lot easier back then than it is today, because you had these other vehicles. Now that we've gotten ourselves behind the eight ball, and I've explained this, $31 trillion in debt. Most of our debt is in short-term instruments, which means it has to get rolled over again and again and again and again. How shall I put it? We're effed. Okay? That's the reality. And I don't see any end to this. I think that it's going to continue to be this, I guess the way that Japan has gone. They're not going to cut back on any spending. They refuse to do that. Republicans refuse to do that. Again, I understood the need, and we talked about transitory. And I was on bloody Bartiromo's show and other Wizards of Smart. No, Chris, we think it's going to be just transitory. We happen to agree with the Fed. Shut up. Come on. Use your head, for crying out loud. All they had to do was raise by a quarter point. Raised by a quarter point back in spring of 2021. Ease off on all of the bond buying. No. Couldn't have that. Couldn't have that. You had Biden administration, $1.9 trillion stimulus. You got the CHIPS Act. You got the Inflation Reduction Act. You got all this spending, all this stuff that needs to continue, right? Anyway. Interesting. And I think this has something to do with market action today. I really do. Labor Department said that total job openings fell 10% in August to 10.1 million from 11.2 the month before. That $1.1 million drop in openings is the largest decline since the early months of COVID. Job openings are at their lowest level in a year. Healthcare, retail, and other service industries is the biggest decline. Interesting. Again, we'll see what's going to happen on Friday. I mean, you want to find a job. I mean, there's a lot of openings everywhere, but I do believe I do believe you're going to start to see a lot of these technology companies, a lot of these companies that did way too much hiring because McKinsey told them to. They're consultants. I mean, do we really even need? I mean, there's some good CEOs out there, but for the most part, they just call up their consultants and McKinsey. Well, my fault. They told me to do it. They told me to hire around these people. They told me I got to grow at all costs. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, it's amazing, it really is. And, it's okay once you get to that position. Once you've stabbed enough people in the back and you've got your way to the CEO chair, even if you suck. And McKinsey gives you bad advice, which they normally do, amongst other things, you still retire with a massive pay package. So what the hell do you care? Yeah, we need, honestly, we need a little Gordon Gekko. We really do. We need a little Gordon Gekko. We need those 1980s. Is what we need. We need those 1980s corporate raiders. Oh, Hollywood hated the corporate raiders. They were all bad because they were putting people out of work and they were terrible. And it was the Reagan years and they're evil. Bullshit. Okay? They made America a lean, mean fighting machine. I ain't even like reading books or studying this stuff. There's been great movies on this. Great movies. What was the... I'll think of it in a second. It was the one about the RJR Nabisco takeover, and Colbert, Kravis, and Roberts ended up getting that company, and they turned it around. Again, that Teldar paper speech. That Teldar paper speech where Gekko. What was interesting about the movie Wall Street? Okay. The insider trading, all that crap, bad. Illegal. You can't do that. That's cheating. But some of the other things that Gekko was doing wasn't bad. But he did Teldar paper, wants to get rid of all the glut, all the mess, wants to turn the company around. Even what happened, with Blue Star Airlines, and he went back on his deal with the unions and what was going to happen there. He just thought that it wasn't going to make it. And then if you actually think back to the 1980s with a lot of the airlines that went out at that point in time, he would probably right. If it was in real life, Blue Star wouldn't have made it. But it's neither here nor there. Carl Icahn, all these titans of industry, they did a lot of good stuff, a lot of this private equity back in the day. Private equity has changed, okay? It has. What they've done after that is basically they take a company and they put a shit ton they buy it out, but put all that debt on the company's balance sheet and basically act as a parasite and suck all the life and money out of it. No. The old school corporate raiders did a good job. And the other one, again, the Disney movie about the hooker, Pretty Woman. Pretty Woman. Yeah, great movie. Come on, it was a great movie, great story. But come on, who was the bad guy? Oh, yes, it was Richard Gere's Edward Lewis. Yup. He was gonna take apart the shipbuilding business, but the hooker with the heart changed his mind, and instead he decided to invest in the business. Either way, he would have won. Either way, the company's better. But that's what needs to happen. And again, we're gonna see a lot. Like I have one. Now Facebook's up to 12,000 layoffs. They're firing poor performing workers. Like that's news. That's what you're supposed to do. Well, again, what was the company? I think it was a railroad company that Carl Icahn bought. I don't know. It had to be back in the 1980s. Famous for this. That was a great documentary on Carl Icahn. And he actually had people looking into what this office in Manhattan, what they actually did there. I think the railroad company It was based out of St. Louis, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He came to the conclusion that he could fire everybody in that entire office in New York, and it wasn't going to matter. And he did. And he did. To make me sound harsh, I've got clients that have bought businesses before that have employees taken over. It's much smaller level, not corporate raider type stuff, small business rating, whatever it may be. I tell them to do, fire everybody. You're so mean. No, I'm not. I said, fire every single person and tell them to come back the next day and reapply for their job. And see what you have. See what people do. They always make fun of that movie. I know I'm sub-referencing a lot today. They always make fun of that movie. Make fun of the movie. I love the movie, but in the movie Office Space, where they bring in the Bobs. They bring in the consultants. What exactly do you say you do here? And again, make good points in the movie and giving greater incentives to the workers, saying how if I work a little bit harder, what good is it for me? I don't get anything extra, and talking about stock incentives. Yeah, all that you do. All that you do. I tell kids all the time. I said, you go out and get a job and you treat that business like it's your business, you're going to be successful in life. You're going to rise to the ranks at that business. I don't care if you're just starting out at a bloody, burger joint or Starbucks, whatever it may be. You're going to rise in life. You're going to rise through there. And they're going to continue to move on. That's how it's supposed to work. So everybody's going to be, these companies are laying workers off. Well, if you suck, you get eliminated, as Gecko would say. Who the hell cares? Chalk it up. It's a lesson learned. It's a lesson learned. And point myself out where I effed up. Back when I was in college, I had a zillion jobs going on. I was working at a hotel. Working at a hotel. One of the jobs I had in Syracuse as a bartender, and we each had like our own bank for the cash register back at the time. And at the end of our shift, we would take it out, and then we would, do all the work that we had to do and slide it into a little. It's kind of almost like a safe deposit box that was ours, and lock it. I do have my work. One day, it slipped my mind. I forgot to do it. And, they found my thing there behind the bar. I got fired. Yeah. I got fired. At the time, I was like, I screwed up one time. I effed up, but I guess the powers that be felt that, geez, if I wasn't responsible enough to make sure that I put the money away, should I be responsible enough to be serving alcohol to people? Whatever it may be. They didn't say that. I can think back on that today where I screwed up. I got fired. I should have. For cause. You're quiet quitting, you're effing around. Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Another story comes to home prices. Lots of cracks. Home prices are crashing at the fastest pace since the Lehman bankruptcy. Certain markets around the country are still holding up. I'm still amazed at some of the markets that are still holding up, but that's going to change. That's going to change. And again, we are way too close right now, aftermath of Hurricane Ian, what's going to happen down there with all of that land and how they're going to go about dealing with it and getting the insurance money out and the federal money out, and the people that, again, didn't have flood insurance. What are they supposed to do? Going to be a bit of a disconnect in some of these areas that used to be extraordinarily hot markets. Fort Myers was one of the hottest markets in the country. Right now, it is no longer. That is as Alanis Morissette would say, a jagged little pill that we're swallowing. We don't know what's going to happen. It most certainly not going to be beneficial with mortgage rates at over 7%. Different. Again, many people live down there and they don't have mortgages. There's a lot of cash buyers in Florida, a lot. People retire, they move down there, downsize, buy a place. What do I need flood insurance for? What? So some 100-year, 500-year storm? Well, guess what? It came. It came. And how they're going to go about dealing with this, again, we don't know yet. Okay, I guess a big business story of the day. Elon Musk has, he proposed closing on a Twitter deal for the original terms. Wow. There was a lot of drama over this over the past year. And it turns out that he's going to close on the $44 billion deal. And again, you're going to see, oh my God, all the staff over Twitter, they're all triggered now. Maybe he can do something with it. Maybe he does come up with some pretty nifty ideas from time to time. I mean, they don't all work out by any stretch of the imagination, but Twitter's a sewer. And it needs to change. How he's going to go about monetizing it, how you're going to go about marketing on that. I don't know. He overpaid, in my humble opinion. He did. But it's not the last time he overpaid. He overpaid for First Solar too. Lost his shirt on that thing. And again, there was some problems with that because of family connect, whatever it may be. Overpaid for that. He's overpaying for this. He's getting financing. What was it? Morgan Stanley's giving him some money. And he's selling some of his stock as well. So we shall see. This is, I talked about this before. I do have a problem with corporate welfare. I really do. But it's just too easy. It's too easy for Democrats and Republicans to engage in it. It really is, to make themselves look good. Story here. And I want to see businesses. I want to see businesses relocate to depressed areas of the country. Now, I am from upstate New York. From Albany, New York. It's where I grew up. Syracuse, you take the thruway, head west, about 2 hours. Yeah, about 2 hours. I don't know what the speed limit is up on I-90 now. I don't know. It's probably got to be a little bit faster. But anyway, about 2 hours figure. About 2 hours, Albany to Syracuse, and then you go out about another hour and 15, 20 minutes. You can hit Rochester, and you keep going. You're going out to Buffalo. And a lot of upstate New York has been down and out and depressed for a long time. Again, look at the history of the state of New York and what it used to be and how business was conducted, and the Erie Canal, taking goods, all the way across the strait to the Great Lakes to get to Chicago, and all of the hubs along the Mohawk River. Get into all, the history of New York. I really don't want to do that. But again, certain areas have failed. And we just saw an announcement. Micron Technologies announced that they're going to spend up to $100 billion for a semiconductor. It's over 10 years. Semiconductor factory in Clay, New York. It's about 10, 15 miles north of Syracuse. Not over the next 10, over the next 20 years. They want to build a huge computer chip factory. And again, this is without a doubt, this wouldn't be happening right now if we, the taxpayers, didn't give money to Micron in part of the CHIPS Act. Talking what, $52 billion in grants. Now, Micron didn't get that entire $52 billion, but they got a chunk. That's for sure. It's not just that. Again, I'm sure that Chuck Schumer is a very powerful senator here from New York. I'm sure he said, you gotta do me a solid here. I'm going to really push for this. I am Senate Majority Leader. I get this through. I get this over the end zone. You're going to own me, Micron, and you're going to build in my state. This is how business is done. Okay, this is how our country works. Now, again, I don't Micron has definitely gotten all sorts. If you think that they're paying the going rate and property taxes, it's not very high up there. The going rate and property taxes and state taxes and all that good stuff. No way, no how. And whenever we talk about this on the program, we always go back to the Declaration of Independence with Jefferson making the point that all men are created equal under the law. Okay, we are equal under the law, and this is obviously not the case. Certain companies get certain deals based upon whatever they're doing and whatever politician wants in that area, and it happens on a massive level like it is with this Micron factory, and it happens on smaller levels. I made fun of all the BS, all these celebrity suck ups down in Sarasota, Florida, where I used to live. Oh, we're gonna build a movie studio here. They used to have the Sarasota Film Festival. Yes. All the rich people down there can go to parties and pretend like they're important. Anyway, it's true, guys. Come on. It is what it is. I mean, movie studio is moving in, and they showed their pilot movie. It was supposedly some Miami cop show, and you looked at it, and I'm saying to myself, this looks like it was done by some, audio-visual club at a college or a really good high school, for crying out loud. Who the hell are they trying to kid? Oh yeah, they need to have a hangar at Sarasota Airport so the celebrities can come in, and the thing blew up. Yeah, I think it's a bounce house right now. Yeah. I mean, it didn't last long. It turned into a bounce house in probably about a year and a half. Oh, you had a big ceremony with the gold shovels and the gold scissors cutting the ribbon. Get all the politicians there looking important because they're all a bunch of celebrity effers, and you know it. Same thing. Poshmark is selling itself to Korea's neighbor. It is a social shopping marketplace that I've never used. I forgot to ask my wife if she's ever used this thing. This company went public back. Wow. It was back in January 2021, maybe. February 2021. It was over $40 a share. And it was, hey, it doesn't matter. Grow at all costs. Yeah. Well, listen. The insiders, the venture capitalists did what they needed to. They convinced the public. They convinced the folks that are on TV that this was awesome. Yeah. It's getting taken over for $17.90 a share. Many greater fools out there. Choose. You don't want to be a greater fool. You eventually want to grow up, invest like an adult. Then give us a call. Go to our website at watchdogonwallstreet.com. Take a look at our stuff and stop losing money. Just a bit of advice. Why don't you stop losing money? Why don't you just stop flushing money? I mean, do you like flushing money down the toilet? Do people like doing it? Another example of this. I want to remind everybody, if I was to do this, I'd probably go to jail. Yeah, there's probably a good chance that I go to jail. And we talked about this when this happened again and again on the program. Nobody wanted to listen to what we were saying. All these cryptocurrencies and all these coins being pushed by these celebrities. Kim Kardashian, she promoted a cryptocurrency on her Instagram account. Without disclosing how much she was paid to do so. And you have to do that. I think she got paid $250,000 to put out a tweet. So she had to pay $1.26 million in penalties to settle with the Securities and Exchange Commission. How much do you think people lost? Again, stupid is as stupid does. Okay? You're going to go on, you're going to listen to a rapper, you're going to listen to a Kardashian about where your money should go, how you should invest. I don't want to sound harsh here, but you know what? We got to have some sort of, it's just going to start calling it economic Darwinism. You're a sucker. You're a sucker, but people follow these celebrities. If Kim Kardashian went onto her Twitter account and told all of her followers that she figured out a way to mix Kool-Aid and cyanide, and this is the recipe, this is how you do it, and you're going to have an ass like me if that's the case, drink the formula. What do you think was happening? People would do it. You would have people dying all over the country because, yes, there's that many people that are that stupid in this country. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Here was her tweet. Are you guys into crypto? It was some Ethereum Max, whatever the hell, some new coin. It offered instructions on how to buy the token. And she said, this is not financial advice, but sharing what my friends just told me about the Ethereum Max token. Again, you go to celebrities for your politics, you go to celebrities for your investments. What happens to you? I don't know what to tell you. Again, okay? I forget, we get tens of thousands of people listening to the podcast every single day. Kim Kardashian, they got millions and millions and millions of followers. Hey, you think about that type of power, the world that we live in, the type of reach that they have. Here you go. You put out a short little blurb on your Instagram account, and we'll just give you $250,000. Anyway, you know what? Yeah, been going long here on the program. I think we covered a lot today. Anyway, watchdogonwallstreet.com is our site. Watchdog on Wall Street. I could do this for hours, people. I could. But I try to keep it. Most people try to, hit the treadmill for about a half an hour, right? You do, unless you're doing one of those, interval workouts where you go, really hard for 25 seconds. And then for like a minute and a half, you go slow. Anyway, you figure people. So I'm trying to keep it, short and sweet. Anyway, have a good one. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. Watchdog on wallstreet.com. We'll see you.